Hello everyone. Well, I'm back from out of town and as promised, gonna get to this month's Pokemon Presents after the dry spell of information in June and July. There's now a bevy via information and on upcoming titles and updates on existing ones. Mainly going to be focusing on the Sinnoh titles, but I will be briefly addressing the updates for others, so let's get this started. The presentation was overseen by the Pokemon Company COO Takato Utsunomiya, with Pokemon Unite updates coming with monsters, including Mamoswine Sylveon, ahead of the iOS and Android version of the game coming September 22nd, which admittedly a bit sooner than I expected. I mean, I was kind of expecting to be near the end of September, but that's actually not that far from when the Switch was launched. I was going to cross-play and cross-progression with the Switch version if you have it synced to like a Pokemon trainer account or Nintendo account, which I'll have to do. Pokemon Cafe Remix is coming soon. There's also 2-year Pokemon Masters EX. Do a video on that in a bit. Gara Pokemon Go, and now presenting a bevy of Sinnoh updates. So, we have Pokemon Brilliant, Diamond, Shining Pearl, starting with those first. I think Ilka has made a lot of progression in development time thus far. I'm still going to presume like they were in development before they were formally announced earlier this year. And we haven't had much besides our stills I have from the Japanese eShop, and even someone doesn't have as much of a problem with visual style as others might. I'm really liking the progress made so far. There's new features, such as the character customization. They've expanded stuff like the Pokemon Super Contests, and also some of these underground secret bases. And one bonus I'm very eager to hear about is like the Manaphy egg you can get it for adopting early, which I intend to take advantage of. That just leaves hopefully rectifying this issue with Zarude, but I'm also getting ahead of myself here. In addition to the remakes being anticipated for the first time in 15 years, another game set in this land is also coming in January still, with a prequel, Pokemon Legends Arceus, coming early next year on January 28th, 2022. It does take place in Asian Sinnoh, which was then known as Hisui region, and it also has some new regional variants and entirely new Pokemon as well. Hell, lots of Zelda parallels, especially Breath of the Wild still. Definitely, a lot of people are liking the Hisuian Growlithe, which is, I agree, is a good boy. And it's just me, does a Hisuian Braviary look kind of like a Loftwing from Skyward Sword? Especially, it's like the plumage, especially, that's kind of giving me that vibe. Weirdeer here, which is an evolved form of Stantler that's unique to this game. It reminds me of the infamous Talifang bootleg games in a good way. You know, the ones that were unofficial Diamond and Jade. So far, has not been a Jade Pokemon game to my knowledge. In fact, they moved on from using gemstones. They've used letters of the alphabet. They've used colors again, and in some cases, they even use celestial bodies and weapons for naming conventions. So, yeah. But I will say that Basculegion may be my favorite of the new monsters so far, given how it's an evolved form of Basculin, where, and I'm not making this up, is done when there are 6 in the school, but 5 of them don't come back. So basically, just imagine the schooling from Wishy-Washy if they somehow made it even darker. So yeah. So the hub is going to be in Jubilee Village. You're part of the Galaxy Expedition team, where there's the medical, security, and survey corps. You, the player, are going to be part of the last one. So new on top of like the player characters, we have Kamado, who it looks like to be Rowan's ancestor. Celine, who might be Cyrus' ancestor. I mean, it's just the look personally. And Professor Laventon. I wonder if that's a possible reference to trading resources. I mean, given how that name, and also given how that's why the starters are from Johto, Unova, and Lola. So I'm thinking Oshawott gonna be when I'm going with my first playthrough. Who and for the open world concept, which is not just like a big field, like I sort of keeps claiming, but also we see oceans, mountains, grasslands, and tundras, as well as even some very early cities, areas you expect to see in our world. And my standard for the open world concept is not going to be Dragon Quest or Monster Hunter, but rather Rockstar's open world games. Not in the sense of causing crimes or getting into fights, but just the whole way they make the open world integral to the gameplay and the story, which is something they excelled at in Red Dead, GTA, and even Bully. Since side note, I'm not sure what to think about this rumor of them remastering the first three games in the PS2 trilogy as the keyboard for GTA 6, but I'm open to the idea, clearly. Yeah. I am liking how they're shaking up the combat again, like this more active style of capturing and battling monsters, and given how it's set before the idea of a bond between and Pokemon and their human partners was really a thing, and I think a lot of people who claim that the capturing is quote unquote forceful are clearly don't understand how the bond actually works. Works and but at the same time, I'm liking how the new active mechanics, just like the strong style and other styles, like how where some thirds are going to be turn based, but it kind of reminds me of like something like a Nino Kuni Persona, where you can also have more real time combat potentially, depending on who wins the initiative, and your avatar can also get hurt by feral Pokemon. I'm interested to see how Blacking Out works the first time in detail, because beyond that, most of the games don't show much aside like a black screen, and then you just respawn with all your monsters at the Pokemon Center. I mean, the closest we got was where Red got slammed into Cerulean Caves waterways in Pokemon Origins, Charizard, File. But I will say this: all three of the Sinnoh games will be day one pickups for me. I am still making payments on Number and Diamond Shining Pearl, and once I get more cleared off of that, I'm gonna get the ball rolling on Pokemon Legends Arceus as well. And well, definitely gonna take a bit to get back in the swing of things, and especially with September coming up, I'm gonna have to scale things back. I mean, in case you haven't seen in in my my channel's Facebook posts, I'll be explaining one later at a later date. I mean, it's not gonna affect anything, like tomorrow's Pokemon Monday, or say spoilers I got in mind for Cruella or the Suicide Squad, as well as one on Contemplating Black Widow. But things like the Bonathon and like the every Nicktoon ever so far I was contemplating, and yeah, I'm gonna have to put those O's definitively on hold for the time being. So, but at least I have the Pixar marathon ongoing, and once the time comes, you'll know. So that'll be all for now. So take care, everyone.